Hi guys. So I'm here today to do a review for Dune Part 2. I have a lot to say, so hopefully this isn't too long. But there will be spoilers, just so you know. I don't think I can talk about this without spoilers. So yeah. And this is a review from someone who has not read the books. Uh, the book is really long. And I want to read it, but every single time I think about it, it's not at the library, and buying a book is a lot of money. So I'm waiting, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Um, I have a lot of thoughts. Um, I'm just gonna start with this. I loved the beginning. The middle, I was very confused. Thankfully, I went with someone who has read the books and knows stuff about Dune. So she was able to explain things to me, and then the end was great. I was really confused in the middle there. There's just so many things going on. But let's start with the beginning. I loved the beginning. It was kind of right off where we left it in Dune Part 1, and I was really happy, and it was just so lovely, and it was really nice, and just the CGI was great. The characters were wonderful. It was the start of I love Paul at the beginning of this movie, less at the end, but I really like him at the beginning, and it's just the Paul that was from the first movie, and I really liked him in the first movie, and so that made me really happy, and I really liked Zendaya's character too. She did great, and just all the characters. I really liked how they started this story, and then in the middle they were like throwing all these new stuff at us and doing a nice job with it, yes. But it was too much for my little brain. I could not comprehend what was going on, and it was very confusing. And I was like, oh, who's that? I don't know who that is. And so thankfully, I would be like, who's that? And then my friend would tell me. But I was just like, what? Or okay, we haven't seen them in a while. I completely forgot they were part of this movie. Okay, now we're here, and it was just a lot. They did it really well. It was just really hard for me to comprehend. I think that this movie would be better as a rewatch. Just because you have more of an idea of who the characters are, or probably it would be better to read the books, and I probably should have done that, but I didn't. I'm reading Percy Jackson, Magnus Chase. That's what I'm on right now, and We Were Liars. No, Family of Liars, the prequel. And I'm focusing on that, and I can't. And once is mine, but I don't think that book will ever finish. Um, so it's just I've got a lot of books right now, and I could not add another one. And it also is not on my library, like I said. But it just was so crazy, and I think reading the books, like I said, would help that. But I was very like, oh, I don't remember who you are, or who is that? You seem like recognizable, but I have no idea who you are. And yeah, that was kind of a problem in the first movie too. For me, it was just so much information thrown at you all at once, and I couldn't really keep it all straight. But it was nicely done, and you can tell that these actors and these directors really care about this project and want to put a lot of effort into it. It was just a lot, and for me, it was like it was just too much for me personally. Like I said, I think watching it again, I would love it so much more. So don't think I'm saying it's a negative thing, but just it was a lot. But I loved the CGI in the middle. That's when they started to use it a lot more. This is some of the best CGI I've seen. The worms, which if you don't know what that is, I'm sorry, it sounds weird, but the worms were really, really well animated, and they it's so cool. It was so cool. The thing about this was the characters, because in the middle they completely changed, and most of them are because of the water of life and that weird blue stuff. like the mom is crazy, and that was really confusing to me, and I kind of hope she's not crazy for the rest of the series. I really have to read it, but and same with Paul, he just went crazy, and I know that's the point, but it was just a little weird to me, and the baby thing with his mom, and oh, I that was weird. That was just like, how did you think of that? It was, they told the story well. It's just, especially with the mom, I liked it more with Paul, but with the mom, I was just really confused. And I think that's the point, but I was just like, what are you doing? This is weird. But that was the point. So they did a nice job. It's just, it freaked me out a little bit. But like with I said with Paul, he's kind of a villain now, and that makes me really sad. But also, I understand that's the story. But it makes me sad because I really liked him as a protagonist, and now he's a protagonist villain, and it's a villain origin story, and I get that now. But once again, really well done. It's just, it makes me sad, and I don't it makes me kind of sad that that's the direction the story is going in, because I just really liked Paul. But the ending, oh my goodness, the action was so good. The action was phenomenal. The scene, the like fight scene with Paul, and I think it's his cousin, I don't know, that was so cool, and like the choreography of that must have been so hard, because like most of the time in movies like this, they'll just stand around and while someone else is doing something cool, but they were doing cool things at the same time, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. My jaw was on the floor. I I I I don't know how actors do that. Like choreographing fight scenes like that is just so cool, and I loved it. Yeah, it was just so cool. Oh my gosh, I just, the whole time I was like, oh, that is so well done, and you can tell they put a lot of effort into that. But yeah, I really liked the end because of the action, and it leaves the story so open, and it'll definitely be an interesting expansion to the world, and I hope we get more movies. I don't know if anything has, I know people have speculated, but I don't know if anything's been like openly said or not, but it would be a good way to expand upon the universe. They left it open-ended, so hopefully we get a third one. But yeah, that was kind of just like in chronological order the things that I thought mattered the most. Now let's just go into it. I feel like it was really harsh on this movie. I didn't dislike it. It was so not what I was expecting, I think is the best word for it. And so much stuff was happening. And so I was walking in not knowing what to expect, and I don't know what I expected, but it was definitely not this film. And I was just like a little in for a loop, I guess, of what it was. Because I hadn't even watched Dune until a month ago, because my friend that I went with was like, you have to watch it, it's so good. And I liked it well enough, and so she wanted to see the second one. But it's definitely a chaotic story. I was not expecting most of the things that happened to happen. It was a wild ride, and not in a bad way. I feel like it could be interpreted that I'm negatively speaking on this film. I think it's a wonderful piece of cinema, but it was weird, and not what I was expecting. But it was really well done. You can tell all these actors and these directors and writers all really cared for the story and put all their heart and soul into it, because it's just phenomenal. As someone who's like a fan of some of the people that were involved in this project, like watching them on screen, like you see them as those characters and not as their themselves. And once you get to a certain level of fame, that's really hard to do, and they really did a nice job with that. The writing, although weird, it was really good and well done. It was good for the story, and the characters all made logical sense with their choices. It's just their choices was not what I was expecting. Um, and it was a wild ride. But I really liked this film, and I really hope you go and see it, even if not in theaters when it hits Netflix. If it's hitting Netflix, I don't know where it's going. I just know the first Dune's on Netflix, so I'd assume so, but who knows. But yeah, go watch it. It's pretty good. It's a wild ride, though. Yeah, so I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I love you, Rocky 1000, and please stay safe. Bye, guys.